All right, well, one person. I personally hate it when you're waiting around for your computer to start up on anything. If you're trying to open a browser or just turn on the computer, it takes forever. And by upgrading your computer, you can vastly increase the speed so that you're not sitting around waiting and actually doing things. So the parts you'll need, first I'll describe the parts you need, which all you need is a computer, obviously, and a Phillips head screwdriver, which you can buy one of these anywhere. Home Depot, Lowe's, or even a Walmart will have it. And the size of it depends on what you're working on. If you're working on a laptop, you'll need a smaller one. If you're working on a big computer like one here, you would need obviously a bigger screwdriver. Second, I'll show you how to actually replace one of the parts. In this example, we'll be working on the hard drive, which is the part of the computer that stores information and data. A better hard drive will let you store more information, and also it'll access it faster. And finally, I'll share some tips that aren't involving computer parts to speed up your computer. So the first thing you're going to do if you're working with a laptop is remove the battery. This is to stop it from accidentally turning on when you're using the computer, because you don't want it to be on while you're working on it generally. You'll also want to, generally you don't want to be working on carpet, because the inside of a computer is really vulnerable to static electricity. So if you go rubbing your feet on the carpet and touching something metal that sparks on you, you don't want that, because if it hits something on the inside of the computer, it's gonna fry it, and you're gonna lose an expensive part. So to take off the laptop battery, they usually have a lock on it. Click that, just take it out. You're good. If you're paranoid about electricity, you can flip it back over and hold the power button for about 5 to 10 seconds. And this is just gonna power cycle, which means it lets out all the extra charge it had in it. But this battery's dead, so it won't matter. Next up, we're gonna take off this back L plate. This is where the hard drive is located. Depending on what kind of laptop you're working on, they could have a different number of screws, or it could be located anywhere on this actual spot. And if you're working on a big computer, you'll just have to remove 2 screws to remove a side panel of the computer. So to do this, you just take your Phillips head screwdriver and go to the left to loosen screws and to the right to tighten. 2 of these screws won't come out if it's making that clicking sound here, which I hope you can hear. That means that screw isn't coming out any further. You don't have to worry about that. They're built like that for some reason. They have a washer under it that stops it from coming out. Whenever you're working with something like this, be careful not to lose your screws. These things are really small and easy to misplace. And if something comes with a certain number of screws, it's probably meant to have them all there. I've worked with a lot of computers, and people like to say, "Oh, I don't need that part," and then it starts coming apart or something breaks. And you don't want that. So do be careful not to lose your screws. Just to keep them somewhere safe. And this thing actually has a magnet on the back, so it's a lot easier to get smaller screws. It's pretty neat. This one isn't going to come out either because it's making that clicking noise. So this next step is actually the hardest part of the whole thing. It's taking this back plate off, and I'm not sure if it's just with this computer or anyone, but it likes to be a butt and not come out. I actually got it here real fast. It's better. And we're already here. You don't have to take anything else apart. The hard drive's right here. And to take this out, you just take this little tab, pull up on it, and then outwards. And you've got the hard drive here. It's connected to the computer by a SATA cable. You just want to pop that out. And there you go, you're almost all done here. Now for time purposes, and because of the fact that I don't actually have another hard drive, I won't take this apart, but you'll want to take out these 4 little screws here. And this lets you actually take this hard drive out of the casing. Once you've done that, you'll want something called a SATA cable, which I also don't have an example of here. But if you're not working on a new computer and you're trying to replace the hard drive, you're gonna need to move the information on this hard drive to your new one. And to do that, you'll need something called a SATA cable and a spare computer to literally just drag the files onto the new hard drive, and you'll be good. Once you've done that, you can just reverse the process to put it back together. It doesn't take very long. So we just reconnect this SATA cable. And on the handout I sent out here. Oh, that's fine. On the handout, that I passed out, there's also some other tips for increasing the computer speed, like running virus scans often, which even if you're only using a computer for Facebook or YouTube, you'd be surprised at the amount of programs you can get on there that are unwanted. They're called PUPs, for potentially unwanted program. And these will slow down your computer immensely when you're trying to use anything on it. So it's important to run virus or malware scans. I have examples of 2 antivirus programs called AVG and Malwarebytes. They're both free, really quick to download, and they'll just scan your computer maybe every 2 weeks, honestly. And you'll notice some programs on there that you don't want. So to get this hard drive back in, there's 2 sockets here that correspond to these little square pegs. You just want to set it in and then slide it back so that these 2 things connect. It's easier to do when you're sitting down. There we go. We just set it down. It's good to go. Now we just put this back on, which is also annoying. But you want to take the top part and slide it in for this particular laptop, and then just press down on it. It's going to make a snapping noise generally. People get scared because they think you're breaking their computer. You're not. You can be rough with these things and it won't matter. And we just put our screws back in by tightening to the right. Whenever you're screwing something in, don't over tighten. The reason I say this is if you need to take it apart again, you're just going to make it that much harder on yourself to take it apart. So make it easy on yourself and don't over tighten your screws. Other examples of how to speed up your computer include defragmenting your hard drive. This takes all information on your computer and pushes it closer together. As you're accessing different parts of your computer, like pictures or music, the hard drive has to go around and grab that information, and it leaves gaps in data. When you defragment, it puts those gaps together so the computer doesn't have to go as far to reach that information. And that'll really help you out. You can do that by going to Start and then typing in disk defragmenter. And that depends, the time it takes to do that depends on how long it's been since you did the last one. So if you've never defragmented your computer, it could take up to a whole day to finish. But you'll notice a significant increase in speed. And we'll just put the battery back on. Clicks into place and you're all good to go. Finally, the last tip I have is upgrading your operating system. This happens to be running, I think this is Windows 7?
It's Windows 7.
Is it? Okay. Well, older operating systems tend to be a lot slower than newer ones. And as students in here, you're all I guess, you can get a free copy of Windows 7.1 through this website called Microsoft DreamSpark. And 8.1 is a lot faster than 7. And right now, Microsoft, I think they have a program that lets you upgrade from 8.1 to their newest operating system, which is Windows 10 for free. And that's really going to significantly increase the speed of your computer. You can do that if you want. It's not too difficult. Again, all you're doing is going to this website and downloading a program. So today I showed you the tools you'll need to upgrade your computer, how to actually upgrade it, and shared some tips on how to speed up your computer without actually opening it up. Thank you.